Alright guys, last review for the day. I want to cover a more rare figure just because I saw him while I was digging through the bin and I figured what the heck, I might as well. This is the Fantastic Four Marvel Legends, the sister line, Dragon Man. One of the harder figures to find that came out at retail. Going for a lot of money typically right now. So I'm going to tell you whether or not I think you should spend the money that it's going for on eBay. First off, height. He's a little hunched over right now, but he's coming in at just under 8 inches. Articulation, he's got a decent range of motion in the head, up and down, side to side. No side to side that way, just like that. Good range though. It's a really nice sculpt for the head. A lot of detail. The eyes are painted nicely in there. Really nice looking figure in that regard. The mouth does open, and he's got a tongue and teeth and everything. So pretty cool looking in that regard as well. Mine's got this little spot on his head. I don't know what that's from. It looks like the factory paint from the wings or the tongue or something. So I don't know. I can't get that off without messing up the paint underneath. So I'm just gonna leave it. But anyway, he's got no torso articulation at all. He's got a waist twist. Ball jointed hips, not a huge range of motion there at all, but they are standard ball joint hips with the thigh rotation. It's got a single jointed knee that has, again, almost no range of motion, just a little bit there. He's got another joint down here in his ankle, which actually that has decent range, and that's not too bad. And then he also has this toe joint, and the only way to really use it is like that or like that. So it's not a huge range either, even though it can go all the way down. You probably wouldn't do that. So he's got some articulation in the legs, but most of it doesn't really accomplish a whole lot. In the arms, he's got the standard ball joint shoulder, bicep swivel, single joint elbow, and then the hands. They don't really go too far back, which is kind of silly, I think. You can't get him to like put his hand forward and up. It doesn't go any more than that. So all you can do is fold his hands in a little bit, which I don't care for. It's poor design, I think. Again, though, the sculpt itself is really nice. He's got these like wrinkly lines in the scale type things and bumps all over the place. There's a lot of shading throughout too, so he is a nice looking figure for sure. The wings are on these ball joints that aren't painted the same color as the wings. The plastic underneath is this peach color, and the ball joint looks like that. So you can kind of see that peach sticking through when you move the wings at all. So that's not the best design either, but it is there. And there's tons of texturing and shading and nice detail on the wings. And they do move a little bit. The tail is on that type of joint, so you can spin it around a little bit. It's technically bendable. There is a wire in there, I believe, but it's so thick, there's so much rubber, it doesn't really do much. Get that back on. So overall, it's if you're a completist or like a hardcore Marvel collector, I definitely recommend you get him. You won't be disappointed. He's a really cool figure, but he's not, in my opinion, not worth, just for the casual collector, not worth what he's going for on eBay. I've seen this guy loose. If you have all the parts and everything and he's in good shape, loose he's gone up for over 150. Typically it's between 100 and 150 though, and that's a lot. That's a whole lot of money for this figure. He's not like a super popular character. He's just kind of hard to find at this point. So personally, I don't think it's worth that price tag. If you can get him in a good trade, which is what I did, traded a Sota Preview Shin Akuma. So that's kind of a hard figure to come by too, but I happen to have a spare one, so I traded that for this straight up. I think it was straight up. Anyway, if you can get a good trade on it or a good price, it's worth getting. Or if you really are trying to get a nice collection with some harder to find pieces, this is definitely one to have. It is a cool figure. It's just not the best figure and not necessarily worth everything that people are paying for it. So that's a judgment call for you to decide. Like I said, I do recommend it, but with caution, so keep that in mind. I guess that wraps it up for Dragon Man, so thanks for watching. Keep an eye out for more reviews and more custom figures, and in the meantime, keep collecting.